Hello, it's Matei from Robotics Network, and we are here with team MasterMinds 21050, and we are at Ligmit Aim Goal in Pitești. They have one of the smallest and fastest robots I've seen this season, and they're here to tell us more about it.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interest, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/first. If your team is looking for inspiration, check out the Studica Robotics FTC Starter Bot to get you going. Studica Robotics structure options are available in multiple colors with new components now available. Build better robots and receive a 25% discount off most kits and parts, and apply for team grants when you go to studica.com/robots.
So, coming into this season, what was your initial strategy?
So we opted for for quick cycle times, so we can score as many points as possible. Our robot is very fast. We use a swerve drivetrain. Also, our transfer is very quick. We have an active bed and gecko wheel transfer. It's a transmission on belts to the motor to the intake, from motor to intake. We have an 1150 motor.
Okay, so you have a swerve chassis. Can you tell me more about it?
So we have it's mostly 3D printed, 90% 3D printed. Even the gears, we started with PLA gears, but they ended up breaking. So we 3D printed them from metal. It's stainless steel. So the transmission, we start with a 1-to-3 gear ratio on belts, GT2, and goes to this herringbone gear, which is 90-to-30 teeth, so around mostly 3-to-2, and then it goes to the axon bevels, which we couldn't buy; they were not in stock, so we 3D printed them from metal. Then the servo, it's also a 1-to-1 gear ratio. We started with a 1-to-1.65 gear ratio on the servo, but it wasn't enough and we had some problems programming it. And then we chose to add a gearbox on the servo, which cancels out the gear ratio. It goes to 1-to-1, which made it way better.
Okay, that's so cool, but I have a question. What are some problems you encounter during making this chassis, and what would you tell someone that is making a swerve chassis?
So one of the biggest problems we had was power loss, a lot of power loss. We had the belts very tensioned, so the motors were kind of dragged by the belts, and we had around 5 amperes of power draw from one motor, which ended up on a voltage going down and our control hub shutting down. So we ended up detensioning our belts. They don't slip and it's very good. Also the servo, as I mentioned earlier, we made them 1-to-1. It's easier to program, and actually I think it's basically impossible to program them as with a gear ratio.
Okay, to continue, let's talk a little bit about your intake. I see you have a very wide intake. Why did you choose to have such a wide intake?
So, because we have such a small robot, we had to have basically as much surface as possible to pick up the balls. We currently can't really store more than 2 artifacts, but we are in the process of adding a gate for the shooter.
And what are these wheels you're using for your intake? Can you tell me about them?
They are vector wheels with something, I don't know, a tube to grip the artifacts better and to redirect them, to pull them faster in the
I think that is surgical tubing, right?
No, it's called fuel tubing.
Okay. Oh, next, I see you have a pretty cool transfer, and I saw in the matches it was extremely fast. Can you tell me about it?
So we wanted to make the transfer as fast as possible. As we said, we wanted the cycle time to be as small as possible. The ramp has an additional plate here to be able to adjust the compression if it is too much resistance on the motor. For space we had to move the intake motor in the back, in between the ramps.
What motors do you use for your intake and transfer and everything?
For our intake, we only have one 1150 RPM motor. For the outtake, we have two 6000 RPM, and for every wheel in the swerve drive, we have 6000 RPM per motor.
Okay, talking about your outtake, I see that you have a turret but also a pitch. How was prototyping for it, and tell me a bit about it.
So we actually made it like really fast. I don't know how to say. Like we didn't really have time to prototype it. This is actually the second prototype. So we ended up not using it this this ligmit. It's a 1150 RPM motor with a 1:6 gear ratio, so about 180 RPM. It theoretically should have around 350 degrees, but it's not really programmed yet.
And how are you able to shoot the artifacts so fast, like one after another, and not having a pause between the...
So it's using... The first ball will have maximum momentum from the flywheel. Then the flywheel will slow down, and we take advantage of the transfer, which gives the ball momentum from the start, and then we can throw it basically at the same speed.
And for the pitch, do you have some sort of automatizations, or is it manual?
Currently it's manual, but we have plans to make it automated based on the wheel speed.
And another question, can you tell me can you talk a little bit about your automatizations or anything related to that?
So we have a thing when, because our robot is very small and can be pushed around very easily if the wheels are oriented correctly. When the robot stops in teleop, it's not controlled. It has a hold position, so it's using the PID to keep its position. It's opposing, like if it's pushed around, it's gonna try to get back to its point.
That's super cool. And my last question is, did you decide to use PLA, or was it like a time incident, you didn't have time to print your plates?
We didn't have time to laser cut our plates, so we ended up printing them. It's why we have them pocketed.
And what do you plan on using for your plates?
We're planning on changing them with 3mm aluminum plates, laser cutting them.
So thank you so much, Team MasterMind 21050. This is an incredible robot. I'm looking forward to seeing it in next competitions and how it will improve. It's such a cool concept and it's a very unique robot. I'm Matej, reporting from Robotics Network. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. If your team is looking for inspiration, check out the Studica Robotics FTC Starter Bot to get you going. Studica Robotics structure options are available in multiple colors with new components now available. Build better robots and receive a 25% discount off most kits and parts, and apply for team grants when you go to studica.com/robots. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interests, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/first.